What's up guys, it's your boy Spiderwolf back for another JJKPhantomparade video. So today we're going to be going over the brand new Todo that's going to be coming out later tonight, or tomorrow. You guys are going to wake up tomorrow. Before I get started, I greatly appreciate it if you guys could drop me a like, comment, subscribe. It would really help me out trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before that in a year. But as I said in my last couple of videos, I'll take whatever I can get. Anyways, let's get right into this. So brand new Todo, overall, it's a quick and easy answer for any of you guys who want a quick and easy answer. Yes, this Todo is actually quite good, but I would say it might be better to wait a little bit until Mahito comes out, because he's like basically the best character currently to summon from this whole anniversary. But yes, this Todo is pretty good, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to summon for him. However, really quickly, before we get into any other information, any other content, if you do have Choso and you do have if you do have the Awakened one, Gojo, or whatever, then you probably could skip this Todo if you really want to, but it wouldn't be a bad idea if you wanted to get this Todo also. Anyways, let's go into what he actually does. And also, before we do get a free 10 roll when you do we do the event, and then also another one when you do limited time missions, which are probably going to be maybe like logging in, using stamina, farming whatever content and all that. So that's where his free 10 rolls are going to be. So probably do those first before you do actual cube summons, or be like me, just summon whatever, right? If you're a little patient. Anyways, now let's break down what this guy actually does. So he's a green DPS character. He's mainly physical focus or taijutsu. Skill 1 here for skill 1, level 1, it's going to be called All Out Straight. And basically you're just going to be dealing 88.6 melee physical damage to one enemy, so nothing too crazy. At level 10, it's going to be 150. Now he does also have something very similar to Itadori, where he does actually get like a different version from seemingly what it looks like so far, because Itadori, if you watch that video, basically he had like a different version of states, right? And it looks like something like that similar to this Toji here. But basically in this changed skill 1, it's going to be called, it's still called All Out Straight seemingly. So in climax jumping status, change the skill into Disruption Pursuit. So now it's called Disruption Pursuit, and you're dealing at level 1 177.2 melee physical damage to one enemy for 2 hits. Then you're disrupting the enemy special for 3 turns, 2 times 35% chance. That's quite good. Okay, so very similar to Itadori. At level 10, it's going to be a 300 melee physical damage, and then that's basically it. So just more damage. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I kind of like how they're both very similar, like kit wise. So that's pretty interesting. Skill 2 here, Poor Souls. At level 1, it costs 15 curse energy. You increase your own physical stat by 14.3% for 4 turns. You increase your own critical hit rate by 12.2% for 4 turns. And you grant an ally in front of Todo, which could be Itadori, right? Best friend status for 4 turns. Physically gifted allies will not receive best friend status. I'm not too sure what physically gifted means exactly. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't really specify what exactly physically gifted. I was assuming it'd be something like Gojo or whatever, but I'm not too sure what exactly this physically gifted is. Maybe it's like a different effect that Todo can apply later on, is my assumption. And then at level 10, it's going to be 30% physical and then 20% critical rate, so that's pretty cool. And then the upgraded or changed version of the skill is going to be in climax jumping status. You change the skill into Chew, so at level 1, it's going to be increase your own physical and critical hit rate by 30% for 4 turns. You grant the ally in front of Todo best friend status for 4 turns, and then the same thing with the whole physically gifted thing. And then it does cost the same amount of curse energy. Level 10 though, it's now going to be 45 physical and 45 critical hit rate percent. And then overall the best friend thing's still the same. So basically you just get a significant extra, pretty significant increase there. So for physical you get an extra 15%, and then for the critical hit rate you get an extra 25%. So that's quite good. Plus the fact that it's for 4 turns, you could stack this up multiple times, so you basically are going to be getting a guaranteed critical hit rate as well as like over 100 physical stat buff. So that's really, really strong. Going on to skill, and then also for level 9, in case you guys are curious real quick, for skill 1 it's 286, and then for this one's going to be 43.3, which is still really, really good. Just in case even you guys can't level this up to like max level 10, right? Because I know it's been kind of rough, right? It's been kind of rough with that. Anyways, skill 3 here, Boogie Woogie combination. At level 1, costs 20 curse energy. You're dealing 348 melee physical damage to one enemy for 4 hits. You disrupt the enemy special for 2 turns and 1 time melee 35% chance, so still pretty low. And then at level 10 it's going to be 510 melee physical damage. So overall, the base version of Boogie Woogie combination at level 10 is going to just basically give you, or max level, it's just going to give you more damage. In this case 510, and then level 9 it's going to be 482. The change version, when you get into the climax jumping status, is now going to deal at level 1. Also, it does, curse energy is still the same. At level 1, it deals 388.5 melee physical damage to one enemy for 4 hits, so that's pretty nice. You disrupt the enemy you disrupt the selected enemy special for 3 turns, 2 times, 35% chance, which is quite good. So that's also better than Itadori's, because if you disrupt them 1 time, then that's gonna, you have a chance of disrupting them again, so that's really cool. And lasts for 3 turns, which is also great. He also increases his own critical hit rate by 7% for 3 turns, which is quite low, but mind you, it's at level 1. And then it has some different multipliers here. So the first to third hit has a 25% chance to crit. The 4th hit, the final one, has a 40% chance to crit. And then for Black Flash rate, between the 1st and 3rd hit, it's going to be 0%. And then for the 4th hit, it's going to be a 1% chance. And then the Black Flash damage is going to be 150% at the 4th hit, which is extra 100% damage compared to the just regularly critting, which is quite cool personally. I think that's kind of cool. At level 10 though, you're going to be dealing 650 melee physical damage to one enemy. The disruption is still going to be the same at 35% chance. You're now increasing your own critical hit rate by 15%, and then that's pretty much about it. At level 9 it's going to be 620, and then 14.1 of critical hit increase, so still pretty good overall. It's still the same thing though, basically just a lot more damage, but it's still pretty worth it, right? Because he's supposed to be a bit of a DPS character. So really cool stuff so far. Finally here, we got the ultimate here, climax jumping. At level 1, you're guaranteed hit status, just like Itadori here. Or I was about to say like Itadori, but same thing, right? At level 1 though, you're dealing 777.4 melee physical damage to one enemy, 9 hits, which is a lot. Critical hit on the 9th hit, so you're guaranteed, and it's counter bypass, so you can go through counters, which is also really cool. Now you're given you're granting yourself the climax jumping status for 6 turns, which is quite a lot of turns. And then if you're in the climax jumping status, and if it's activated, you increase your own physical stat by 41.9% for 6 turns, but it cannot be stacked, which kind of sucks a little bit. But I mean, it's on the ultimate, so it makes sense, right? How many times you're gonna be able to spend the ultimate, right? Like that. And then it increases the chance of performing the follow-up attack. That's pretty interesting. Okay. And then he has some special multipliers here as well. So critical hit rate, 35% chance of 1 to the 8th hit. And then on the 9th hit, there's no extra increase. Critical damage is still the same. Black Flash rate is going to be 0.1% on the 1st to 8th hit, and then nothing on the last hit on the 9th one here. And then damage of 450. At level 10, you're now dealing 1,610 melee physical damage to one enemy. And then you're now increasing your own physical stat by 60% for 6 turns, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, overall, not too bad so far. Okay, I'd say I can kind of see why Todo's pretty good. I mean, it's very similar to Itadori. I feel like Itadori has a bit more going on with his kit personally, but I think what Todo is doing is still really good personally. And then we have to take a look at what exactly this basically gifted in this best friend status is, because it could be quite good, right? Because he's also like a bit of support in that case, I'm assuming. First combo ultimate here is doing basically the same thing as Itadori. Physical damage to one enemy at 200%, and then increasing his and the allies physical stat by 15% for 3 turns. So skills here, we got a couple here. So we got, are you satisfied with that? After all allies have performed their attack, Todo will perform a different type of follow-up attack on the selected enemy that can go through counters. If any allies perform Black Flash within the turn, one time during battle, attack from auto skill excluded. Let's see, so if any ally, so this is basically seeing what the requirement is. So basically if anyone Black Flashes like Dory, one time during the battle, but auto skills don't count. So I'm guessing if there's like a skill that like does damage, I'm guessing that's what he means, like it doesn't count. Then you're guaranteed hit status for one time. You deal 300% melee physical damage to one enemy with Black Flash. You increase your own and best friend allies physical stat by 15%. You increase your own Black Flash rate additionally by 45%, and you increase best friend allies Black Flash rate by 30%, which is still really, really good. Otherwise, certain chance to perform Boogie Woogie follow-up attack. You deal 300 melee physical damage to one enemy. You increase your own physical stat by 45% for 2 turns, but it cannot be stacked. And then you increase your own best friend allies physical stat by 60% for 3 turns, cannot be stacked. So basically, you're either going to be getting a 50% physical stat buff and 30% for the ally and 45 for Todo for Black Flash rate up, or you're just going to be getting 45% physical status for himself, and then 60% for the best friend, the person, the ally that has the best friend status, which is really, really good. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that, you know, Itadori and Todo are supposed to work together, but like, damn, you know, that's really, really good, right? That's really good. And it doesn't even have to be for Itadori, right? It could be like for Nanami or anyone else that can like, that can still kind of work and that can actually do Black Flashes, which I think someone like Gojo can do, right? Because I don't think it's like limited to only Itadori, right? But really, really good, basically. So yeah, I can definitely see why that's a really strong skill right there, or passive, whatever. Next thing we got here is Boogie Woogie counter. So to the enemy who attempt to attack best friend ally, so whoever has that best friend status, one time per turn, you deal 100 melee physical damage to the counter enemy. You disrupt the counter enemy special for 2 turns at one time at a 60% chance, so a lot higher, and you increase your own and the best friend ally's critical hit rate by 15% for 3 turns. But if you do the ultimate and you have the climax jumping status, you're not going to be increasing your own and the best friend ally's physical stat by 15% for 3 turns. So yeah, so basically you get a physical stat and you also get critical hit rate, so that's pretty cool. Alright, next thing we got is Zone Outburst. So when Black Flash is performed, you increase your own Black Flash rate by 30% for 4 turns, cannot be stacked. You fill your own ultimate gauge by 60, and then you recover your own cursed energy by 5, regardless of energy cursed cap. The next thing we got here is new Shadow Style, Simple Domain. If enemies performing domain expansion and own cursed energy is 10 or more, cursed energy cost is 10, you decrease your own jutsu damage received by 20%, and then you nullify enemies' domain continuous effects. So I'm guessing like any DOTs or any negative effects. So that's quite good. Okay. Let's see. What else? I wonder if that works also on buffs for the enemies. I'm not too sure. Next thing we got here, the final thing, critical hit enhancement. So when the Black Flash or critical hit is performed, you increase your own physical stat. Critical hit enhancement by 30% for 2 turns, cannot be stacked, up to 100% with 15 counts. Each count increases an additional stat by 5%, and then increase own critical hit count by 1. So basically, whenever you do a crit or a Black Flash, you get a 30% physical stat buff for 2 turns. But if you do get the 15 counts, then it's going to be 100% physical status for 2 turns, which is quite good. Kind of sucks that it's not like a forever thing, because it does say for 2 turns. So that does kind of suck. But since this Todo is probably going to be critting very often, it should basically be like every other turn, right? Like otherwise every other turn you should have it for the most part. So that's really cool. Yeah, this Todo is very, very strong. Really good support stuff here with like basically giving your ally a lot more physical damage and a lot more crit. So for any physical characters like Toji, or especially like really easily like Itadori, really, really good. Especially if you use like green Itadori, this is going to be great. Like if you need to run like any green content, it's going to be great for him. But you can still run him with literally like any other Itadori, right? Like it should be fine, to be honest, as long as they're DPS Itadori, right? The only thing I don't really know, because they didn't really mention it, is what exactly this physically gifted is supposed to be. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be like Gojo, like if like does Gojo have like physically gifted? Is that what's supposed to be? Like if someone like that has it, that's the thing I'm not too sure exactly. But yeah, Gojo doesn't do Black Flashes, so I don't know. I'm not too sure what the physically gifted is supposed to be exactly, but yeah, so I'm assuming basically just some characters that have this just won't be able to get be able to use Todo here. I'm just not too sure which characters those exactly are, because I'm not too sure. I can't really think exactly who's supposed to be physically gifted, right? Like I know Maki's kind of physically gifted, so I don't know if like she doesn't count, or if like this is only Itadori can use this. Like that's what I'm saying. I was like, I'm not too sure on that one. Regardless though, really, really strong character. I can definitely see why he's definitely like high up there in terms of like you would probably want to get him, right? Really good character. Anyways, we got the recollection bit here. I did cover this in the last video, but we'll go over this really quickly. Basically, strongest strongest taijutsu recollection bit in the game. You get up to 100% physical status at MOB, and then also gives you I think that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, basically. Oh yeah, and then also gives you ultimate gauge whenever you do any crits, basically. And it increases your own Black Flash and critical hit rate by 10% for 3 turns whenever you do a Black Flash at 1 dupe. So this is a really good recollection bit, basically. So if you do get it, really, really good. But at the same time, it's only for physical characters. So only Todo can use this, and only Yuji Itadori can use this, basically. Or Maki, right? But basically only really them is who you're going to put him on. I'm going to cover the other ones as well. So this one's going to be the login one, which I think, yeah, this was going to be the one when you basically log into the game. This is probably going to be not going to be too crazy, but we'll take a look at what it does. So it's 50-50, 36 physical and 36 Jujutsu. The first thing here we got is whenever you do anything, skill or ultimate, you recover your own cursed energy by 15, so that's not too bad. One dupe, at the start of the turn, when self-cursed energy is 40 or more, increase all enemies damage received by 15% for 3 turns. And then at MLB or 3 dupes, it's going to be 20 recovery of cursed energy. So not too bad, I guess. This is kind of decent. So if you need any characters that kind of just want like a lot of cursed energy, this isn't bad, but there are better options. This is like a decent option. Now we got the event one here. So this is going to be 50-50 as well, 36 physical and 36 Jujutsu. So whenever you do basically anything, a skill or ultimate, you increase your own and the ally behind you physical status by 10% for 5 turns. That's actually quite good. You grant yourself and the ally behind you also attack nullification for 2 turns for 1 time. That's also really, really good. You can only use it though after 5 turns, so that kind of sucks. Or 5th turn and then onward you can use that. So that does kind of suck also. What is it? At 1 dupe, if you are receiving, let's see, if you self is receiving attack nullification at the start of the turn for 3 times during the battle, you increase all enemies' Jutsu stat by 15% for 3 turns, so that can be kind of useful. And then at 3 dupes, it's now going to be 15% physical status for the ally behind you for 5 turns, and it's on a 10-turn cooldown. This is quite good, actually. This is for sure support recollection, but this would be something like you use on, yeah, like any support. So it's like you would run like your support character, like Yaga, then it would be Yuji, Itadori, then it would be Todo in the back, right, and then whoever else would went behind Todo, right. That's basically how you would put this for the most part. Or you could run like another support character maybe behind and have like Todo, and then have like a support character behind them. That also worked pretty well too. But yeah, this is really, really good. Really strong. It does have a bit of a debuff though with the whole you have to wait 5 turns, but that's still really good. This is like a really good recollection, but I'd say this is a really strong support one for sure. That's defensive, but you do have to wait a little bit. And 10 turns of cooldown does kind of suck. Anyways, for the tier list here, where I would personally rate Todo, I would say easily triple S tier. I'd say I think he's pretty easily triple S tier. I don't have Choso, which kind of does suck because I kind of wish I did have him, but I do have Awakening Gojo, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'd say easily this Todo, easily like for damage, I'd say he's probably between, maybe not triple S tier for damage, but maybe like double S tier for damage. I'm gonna take a look at him again, because like he does do a lot of stuff. Like he also boosts damage a lot. Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of damage. He's going to be doing a lot of black flashes and a lot of critical rate. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that he could probably be triple S tier for DPS, but he's also a support character, and I'd say that would put him with what he does with the whole physical damage buff. I would say that probably puts him up into triple S tier because of his buffs for physical damage characters. Oh, for character, right? Because it's only for boosting 1 character. But yeah, I'd say he's triple S tier as well for that. Maybe between that and then double S tier, because it is only for 1 character that's getting those damage buffs, and that's basically about it. And he's not providing anything else. But I think he kind of slides in a little bit, maybe on the lower side of triple S, but and higher side of double S. But he's between these two for sure. He's really strong. He provides a lot of good stuff. As for the recollection bits, I'd say the login one, which login ones are never too crazy. It is a support one here for utility. I'd say it's probably like a A tier one, maybe B tier. It's not too bad. It's kind of useful for the curse energy. 7 turns of cooldown does kind of suck though, so probably like B tier. The event one though, this one I'd say is probably easily like a double S tier defensive or utility one. I'd say it's personally really, really strong. I think this is really good. I think this is maybe more of like a utility than defensive, because I feel like the attack nullification and all that, and 50% physical stats also kind of good personally as well. And you're also reducing the enemy's jutsu stat 15% for 3 turns, which can work on some enemies, but for the most part, most enemies, right? I'd say this is probably like, in my opinion, maybe not double S tier, maybe that's going a little too far, but maybe like S tier. I think S tier is fine. I'd say S tier is fine for what it would be, because I think it's really good, and I think it's providing a lot of utility that's really overall good. And then if you guys are wondering where this one would be from the actual gacha, this is like a easily double S tier physical recollection bit. It's really, really good. One thing I did want to talk about really quickly though, Before we do wrap up the video here, which is also quite long, I didn't realize this is also gonna be almost as long as the Itadori one. If you guys didn't watch that one, which I do recommend, basically they kind of confirmed that Sukuna should be coming out next week. I think he's coming early as well. I think he's coming like a day or two early, I think. But basically Sukuna is confirmed to be coming out for sure next week, because they did mention part 2 of this event story, and Sukuna comes out with part 2 of the event story, so like he will be coming out. Free multi for him. I'll make another video talking about him as well, so that'll be pretty cool. And then most likely, like how everybody was thinking, like how I'm thinking, New Year's we're going to be getting Mahito, most likely. New Year's, literally when we get New Year's, we'll be beginning off the New Year's with the Mahito, which is a really strong character. So a lot of cool stuff. We talk about what they do and all that when we get closer to that, and yada yada yada. But yeah, overall, good luck with your summons. Make sure to do the event to do your free 10 roll, and then also do the limited time missions. Hopefully they aren't too bad, and hopefully they don't take too much time to get those free tickets for Todo here. But if you do want to spend some cubes, not too bad. But overall, as most gacha games go, better to wait a little bit and see what the other characters do that are coming up. But that being said, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace and take care, everybody.